Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ankush. In our today's video, we are going to learn about the integration of Kafka with the Spark. So we already discussed about the Kafka in my previous video. If you have not seen those videos, so I would request you to go to my channel and check for this video. And regarding this Spark, we already know that there are transformations, actions are there. So basically when you go for an interview, you will find a lot of questions related to the Kafka as well as Spark. So in this video, we are mainly targeting about how we can configure, how we can integrate the Kafka with the Spark. Let's say we have one producer, okay, which is producing the data, and this is my producer. And the data which is getting produced by this producer, it is storing on the Kafka server. Okay, so this is my Kafka server, and this Kafka server will basically have the topics where the data which is produced by the producer will get stored. So this is my topic. Let's say I have created one topic over here. Now by using the Spark, what I want, so let's say this is my Spark. Okay, by using the Spark, I am going to read the data from the topics. Okay, and then if I want to store that data, I can store it on the HDFS, I can store it in AWS platform, or I can store it in anywhere. That's not a problem. So basically we have one producer which is producing the data, and that data it is writing it into the Kafka topics, and by using the Spark I am going to read the Kafka topics. So this is the application that I am going to create it today. So before that, I would request you to please do like, subscribe and share this channel, so that will be really helpful for me to create more and more videos. So let me show you about the producer first. I have already started the Zookeeper services as well as the broker services. Now I need to create a producer. Okay, so you can see on my screen, this is my producer. So I'm just going to start it. Okay, so I can see the producer is already started, but let me start it one more time. I have already created a topic. Okay, and in that topic only producer is going to store the messages. So I just started the producer. Now let me try to start the consumer also. So I'm going to start one consumer from the bat file, and another consumer that I will treat it as a Spark. So Spark is going to read the data from the Kafka topics. So let me show you. So I can see there is a Spark. All right, so these are all the packages which I just imported. Some packages are related to the streaming. Now I have created one class with the name Spark, and these are all the mandatory things, that what will be the master name, what is the application name, and I just created Spark session. Now second thing is we need to create a data set which is calling to the method, which is most important method. So there is already inbuilt API is there. We called it as spark.readstream.format, and in the format we need to specify the Kafka. Make sure you have already inserted a required pom.xml files over there. Okay, so I will just show you that my pom.xml. If I just open the pom.xml file, I can show you the list of, see, the first thing is we need to use this Kafka client. Okay, that is what we need to use. And if I go below, if I'm using the Spark SQL, so that one also I have already added. Okay, so these are all things we need to add. And then Spark core, so all those things dependency I have already added into the pom.xml. Now let me go back to the Spark. So in the beginning of the code, the most important part over here, that I'm using a read stream. So this is, there are in the Spark there are two types of API you will find. The first one is read stream, which is called it as a streaming kind of data. When you want to import the data from your Kafka in the terms of streaming, okay, so you can use the Spark read stream you can use. Now let's say you don't want read stream, you can also use the batch streaming. We called it as a spark.read. So every time you need to create another data frame, but this time what will happen, this data frame will store your all the messages. See, this is a single inbound table. You can call it as an inbound table. This data frame will be as an inbound. So whatever the messages which are coming from the producer will get stored into the Kafka topics, and that topics message will be read by this data frame by using the read stream. So because it is using a streaming kind of data, and the format, when I am saying that format equals to Kafka, so Spark will come to know that it needs to read the data from your Kafka topics only. And here I'm going to specify the bootstrap server, from where, like what is the offset. You can specify latest as well as earliest also, and I'm going to subscribe to the topics, and this is the name of my topics, and this is going to initiate it. Now this is basically a word count program. So what I did, whatever the messages which you are getting from the Kafka topics, I'm going to use a key value format on the top of it, and then I'm going to use a group by function. So the logic which I mentioned there. Now let me show you practically by running it. So what is exactly happening? So let me try to run it. Let me try to send some input from the producer. So I just sent the Sagar from producer. If I'm checking the consumer side, yes, on consumer side also we received the Sagar as input. And let me see on the Spark side now. All right, I can see there is an output which is coming from the Spark side, that is Sagar equals to 1. What I'm going to do, I'm going to send a Sagar one more time from the producer side. So I can see I have already sent it from producer, and it has been received on consumer side also. But now we are mainly interested to check the output on Spark side. So we already got Sagar and the count is 1. Again, I'm sending the another input called Sagar. So the count should be 2. So just hold on for some time, and then we will see the output. If you see my code carefully, then you will find that I'm going to use a write stream, and the format I'm showing it as a console, and because of that only all the output you can see it on my console only. We have a multiple options to store this data. Either you can use the AWS Bitbucket, AWS also you can use, or you can store it in HDFS. So depending upon the situation you can store it. Now just now we got the output like Sagar equals to 2, and this is how you can build up the application which will, the data can be sent from your Kafka producer, will write down into the Kafka topics, and by using the Spark you can read the data from your Kafka topics to the Spark application. On that data you can perform a multiple operation, like you can do your transformation action, and based upon the situation you can store the data into the multiple sync. So that is how the Spark integration with your Kafka is happening with the help of read stream, and that is what it's happening. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe and share this channel, and if you are looking for training, definitely you can contact me.